When a video of you sleeping hits your inbox and you live alone, you realize this isn't just hacking. This is replacement. This is Mr. H. You're listening to Masked Horror. My dad's laptop got hacked. A week later, he was gone. My dad was the kind of guy who wrote checks for everything. He barely trusted credit cards, let alone online banking. He had worked in the government for over 30 years. I didn't know exactly what he did, but I knew he was in the government and handled a lot of financial accounts. So when he called me home over winter break because his laptop broke, I figured it was something dumb, like a printer issue or a pop-up ad. It wasn't. When I walked into the house, he looked like he hadn't slept in days. His laptop was sitting open on the kitchen table, screen locked with one of those ransom notes, red text on a black background, demanding 25 grand in crypto. "We have everything," it said. "Pay in 7 days or be exposed." My dad wasn't rich, but he worked in insurance and the government and handled a lot of sensitive files. I figured that's what they wanted, but then I noticed the folder names in the background of the screenshot they sent him. They weren't company files. They were personal. Vacation 2011. Mom's letters. Eileen, last message. Eileen was my sister. She died when I was 10. I didn't even know there was a last message. That's when it started to feel wrong, like deeply wrong. The next day, my dad got an email from an encrypted address. Attached were photos of our house, from outside, then closer, then inside, taken through windows, maybe inside rooms. At least one was taken from his office, looking out. He called the police, but they said it was probably digital manipulation. No break-in, no evidence of stalking. They said the camera angles could have been faked. Except one photo showed me sleeping on the couch the night I came home. That night, my dad didn't sleep well. He just sat at the table, staring at the screen. The ransom timer ticked down. He didn't say a word to me, wouldn't eat, barely blinked. Day 5, they sent a video file. It was grainy, security cam style footage, except we didn't have any security cameras that showed footage like that. It showed our backyard, my dad standing there alone, facing the woods. The date stamp said it was recorded live. At the end of the clip, the camera slowly panned toward an upstairs window. My bedroom window. I told him we had to leave, go to a hotel, wipe everything, report it to cybercrime units. But he got angry. "They know everything," he said. "They already showed me." I asked him what he meant by that, but he wouldn't say. The next morning, I woke up, and he was gone. No note, no call. His phone was still in the kitchen, laptop too, but the screen was different now. A new message. Debt settled. Silence is loyalty. I filed a missing persons report. I went through every file, every drive. Nothing useful. Just an overwhelming sense that I was missing something obvious. Like the story had already ended, and I was too late to read the last page. That was about 6 months ago. Then last week, I got an email. No sender, no subject, just a single attachment. It was a short audio clip, my dad's voice whispering, "Don't trust what looks like me." My boss paid the ransom. We shouldn't have. I work in IT at a mid-sized law firm, mostly civil cases, insurance disputes, corporate compliance, a few hush-hush settlements. Nothing glamorous, but enough money moves through here to keep us careful. Or at least, we thought we were careful. The breach started on a Friday. One of the junior partners opened a weird PDF from a client. By Monday, the entire system was locked. Every document, every file, every archived deposition, all encrypted. Then came the ransom note. 2.5 million. You have 5 days. Our partners panicked. We contacted cybersecurity firms, but the hackers had already wiped backups. They were surgical, precise. These weren't amateurs. On day 2, they sent a sample of what they had stolen: confidential tax records, case notes, and somehow a private Zoom call between 2 senior partners. We'd never recorded that meeting. No one even admitted it happened. The hackers threatened to release everything. They even hinted that they had modified documents. "Truth is malleable," they wrote. By day 4, the firm agreed to pay. The ransom was wired through crypto, using a chain of wallets I couldn't even trace. The next morning, we got our files back. Or so we thought. I did a quick integrity check. File names, timestamps, storage sizes. Everything looked fine. But then we started using the files in real cases. And things started unraveling. One client called, furious that her affidavit had been doctored, said she never mentioned her son in the statement, except now there it was, clearly typed and timestamped. The partners blamed me, said I restored corrupted versions, but I checked, those files had never left the server. Then came the videos. Deposition footage that used to be standard, shaky cam, bad audio. Now they were crystal clear. Facial expressions looked slightly off. A blink too long, a smile that didn't quite match the voice, and the words were different. One man, under oath, suddenly admitted to insider trading. In the original clip, he denied everything. I showed the partners both versions. They dismissed it, claimed I was mistaken. One even joked that AI was getting too good. But I couldn't let it go. I ran a side-by-side comparison of the restored files against backups I'd salvaged. The changes were subtle, but consistent. Every edit pushed our clients deeper into liability, or pushed us towards settlements we'd once rejected, and sometimes even benefiting us when it was a difficult case for us to win. Each case was different. It felt coordinated, like we were being steered. The final straw was a security alert. Our server pinged an outbound connection to a hidden IP address at 3:17 a.m. from inside our network. I pulled surveillance footage. There was no one in the server room, except there was a flicker. just a single frame, barely visible. A figure standing next to the server rack. Not an employee, no badge, just standing there, face blurred like a deepfake, skin too smooth, clothes slightly misaligned, like a rendering glitch. The next morning, I confronted the managing partner, told him we'd been set up, that the files weren't real, that we were being manipulated. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "If the courts accept the evidence, then it's real enough." I quit that day. I got an email with a video of me sleeping. I live alone. I'm a freelance journalist, mostly covering tech and cybersecurity. It's ironic, I guess. All the research I've done on digital privacy, online threats, I thought I was protected. I used VPNs, burner emails, two-factor authentication. I even kept tape over my webcam. None of it mattered. It started with an email. No subject, no text, just a link to a private site, some obscure domain with a string of numbers and letters. Against my better judgment, I clicked it. I have no idea why I was compelled to click it. It loaded a video player. The screen lit up with grainy night vision footage of a bedroom. My bedroom. I was in the shot, asleep, under the covers, perfectly still, until I rolled over and let out a small sigh. The timestamp was from the night before, 2:41 a.m. I live alone. The video ended after 2 minutes. No threats, no demands, just proof. I called the police, filed a report. They sent someone over to do a check, but nothing was missing. No signs of anything, no signs of forced entry. They assumed it was some kind of prank or deepfake, but I knew it wasn't. Then came the second email. Same structure, no message, just a new video. This time, the footage was from inside my kitchen. Broad daylight. I was working at the counter, making coffee. The angle was from above, like from a ceiling corner. My apartment doesn't have cameras, and I never noticed anything new installed. At the end of that video clip, the feed went black, and a voice came through. My voice. It said, "I'll tell you everything. Just don't show them the rest." I slammed the lid on my laptop. I thought maybe someone hacked my devices, so I wiped everything, reinstalled my OS, bought a new phone, overpriced for sure, but it didn't matter. The third video came a few days later. It showed a room I didn't recognize. A dim, windowless space with a single metal chair and a floodlight overhead. In the center of the frame sat me, or someone who looked exactly like me. Same hoodie, same posture, same nervous tics. I do something with my hand when I'm nervous, and it looked exactly the same. The copy started speaking. He talked about stories I hadn't even published yet. Sensitive things, stuff I had only taken notes on. Things about major financial institutions using AI to manipulate public opinion. And one story about a leaked dataset from a defense contractor. That version of me said all of it, like a confession. Then he looked into the camera and said my full name and smiled. The email subject line this time said, "Your trial run is complete." That night, I tore my apartment apart. I found something behind the HVAC vent in my bedroom. A tiny device looked like a motion-activated mic. I didn't recognize the make. Definitely not consumer level. I sent it to a hacker contact I trusted. They did a full examination of it and said it was proprietary, experimental, possibly military grade. That's when the emails stopped. No more messages, no more footage. But the damage was done. People started contacting me, lawyers, other journalists, even some of the sources I was protecting, saying they'd received audio clips of me admitting to fabricating stories, falsifying interviews. Some of those people cut me off entirely. Others threatened lawsuits. But here's the worst part. I was doing a Zoom call with a former contact, someone who hadn't heard from me in a while. When I joined the meeting, he froze, turned pale, said, "You already called me this morning." He swore I told him to never speak to me again, that I had threatened him. It wasn't me, but someone, something, is playing the long game, and they're doing it better than I ever could. The only reason I'm now telling this story is because I got a final email tonight. It had just 4 words. Version selected. Replace imminent. If this is the last thing I write, just remember, not everything that looks real is.